Rondos aren't just warm-up drills. What if I told you that they can be one of the most powerful tools to develop elite level awareness, movement, and decision making? In this video, we are diving into 4 advanced rondo drills that go way beyond keep away. No more disengaged players bored out of their mind. These are the rondos that teach hold-up play, scanning, team pressing, and even game-like transitions without needing a full field. Let's break them down one by one. Quick reminder about rondos. It's a famous soccer drill where a larger group of players try to keep possession of the ball against a smaller group of players. Usually a 4v2 or a 6v3 keep the ball, and oftentimes they add the extra restriction of only 1 or 2 touches allowed. It's a great technical drill to get many touches on the ball in a short period of time. However, it doesn't train things like scanning, hold-up play, or transitions. We will fix that in these advanced dual rondo drills. As always, remember that you want to target optimal difficulty, where neither side achieves their objective easily. You will play with number of players, both attackers and defenders, as well as the space, meaning the rondo boxes size. If a 5v4 looks too difficult, you might change it to 6v4. Also, if that's too easy, then maybe you limit the touches allowed to 1 or 2 touch games. Drill number 1 is double rondos with floating wingers. The setup is two 2v2 rondos side by side with 2 floating players who help both boxes, one on each edge. However, you don't want them to stay as 3v2 with the same floating players helping the same rondo all the time. So limit them to receive and pass once before switching boxes. Transition between boxes must happen immediately after the touch. Unlike the standard rondos, the players in the boxes will need to learn to hold up play and timing. Sometimes they will need to dribble into space just to allow an extra second or two for their support player to come from the other side. This is a realistic game-like scenario. For the players who switch sides, it is a great exercise for context switching and movement after a pass. They will need to adjust with only few steps to open to receive the ball, then pass the ball again and switch sides. High intensity and game-like environment. Drill number 2 is double rondo with central midfielders. The setup is same as with the dual 2v2 boxes, but now with a gap between them, where the 2 center mids operate unopposed. You can have 2 rondos happening in parallel with the center mids having a supporting role, but as center mids. Start with 2 touch freedom for them, but think if you need to switch to 1 touch. This will develop your central midfielders to really pay attention on awareness. They will need to keep checking their shoulder, but also think about their body position. Unlike rondos, where all players are facing the field of play, the center mids here will be in the middle. So they will need to keep rotating to see both boxes, then commit to a play, then rotate again to see both boxes. You can also change the setup so that you will play just one giant 6v4 rondo. The limit of the movement will be on the center mids, where while the defenders will each start in their own boxes but can move anywhere they want. This means that one side gets 3 or 4 defenders, the goal will be to move the ball to the other side quickly. As you can see, we move closer and closer to the real game with each iteration. The speed of thought keeps increasing, and you develop players that think faster and act smarter step by step. The drill number 3 is alternating 6v2 rondo battle. The setup is with 2 teams of 6 players, 2 boxes, one next to each other. Drill starts as 6v2 in one box. The defenders need to win the ball either by intercepting or just the ball going out of bounds. Then they immediately switch to the other box and become part of the attacking team there, together with 2 current attackers that become defenders there. Same rule for that group with the defenders rotating in each set. This setup is good because it is high intensity and it is not a start and stop drill. There is a constant transition between attack and defense. Also, there is time to recover and rest, which will help to manage the load while keeping the intensity high. Maybe the most important thing for me in this drill is to help players understand how the role changes work. When you're waiting for the other side to finish their possession, it feels like you're just sleeping. In fact, it is what's happening in a game. When the ball is far from you, you're not outside of the game. You will need to adjust your position without too much running. Your mind is not overloaded, but is alert. Once the rondo starts, you're full on, both with your mind and your body. Here's one coaching point to illustrate this. While the rondo is in the other box, the players in your own box will likely need to switch their position. This way, they will be more ready for the next session when they will need to go to the other side. This low effort movement looks easy, but this is a constant effort with coordination and thinking process. It's how a team positioning works in a real game. So drill 4 is a competitive 6v0 count rondo. The setup is you have two rondos start as 6v0, and every 5 completed passes, you send one defender to the opponent's rondo. Losing the ball means you're pulling one back. You win when you complete 5 passes with 3 players on your side, likely a 3v1 or a 3v2. This means that the other side has 5v3 or 4v3. The intensity of the game is high, not just because there is competition. The pressing is not just individual commitment, but it's also supporting your team and teammates. As more defenders join, the rondo becomes harder, mirroring game momentum. As you get closer to the goal, the number of defenders increase. Note that this should not be the first drill of the practice, as it can get competitive, loud, and intense. However, it is great for both team bonding and demanding excellence from each other. The communication aspect of it is so important. Your players will develop those skills and leadership muscles, taking ownership during the advanced double rondos like this teach far more than just keeping the ball. They build players who can think, move, and combine under pressure. Exactly what the modern game demands. If you like more basic rondos and how to progress them, check out the linked video. If you use any of these things with your players, let me know how it goes in the comments. And thank you for watching.